Well, hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and the 18th of May, 2021 marks a special day. If you didn't know, it's Willis Day on the 18th, well, the 18th of March, 2021 is Willis Day. Not in referral to Bruce Willis, the actor, no, not him, it's not, it has nothing to do with him. It's a different Willis, person with the surname of Willis. It's actually a very, very special day. It's day today for the 18th of March 2021, and one very special lady only. That is May Willis from Bexhill, East Sussex in England. Born Winifred May Willis, but commonly known as May Willis, the 18th of March 2021 marks her very special day, her very special birthday, in fact. Well, yes, a very, very special birthday. Oh! Because if you didn't know, the 18th of March 2021 marks her 111th birthday. Born on the 18th of March 1910, and the 18th of March 2021 just marks her 111th birthday, and she's now 111. 111 is incredibly old, as we know. Oh my goodness. Anyone to live to 111, goodness gracious me. To actually survive and live that long must be incredibly surprising. Well, it's incredibly surprising, but it must be incredibly difficult. I mean, I don't think I could imagine living to be 111. Oh my goodness, no. I think I'll probably be gone, probably say, at least 20 years younger than that. Hopefully I'll live to about 70 or 80, hopefully, but not 111, no. Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully I'll live to about 82 at the very longest, but not 111 or 112, no. Definitely not. I mean, well, I don't know if she ever thought she would live to 111, but yeah, she's done it. So far done it to 111, and I think she could just about make 112. Seeing her now, because she did have an interview back in February of 2021, just the month before her 111th birthday, and she was looking like she'd slowed down like a lot compared to when she was 110. On her 110th birthday, I do say she was actually still fairly active at 110. She was still quite an active lady, still able to walk about and such at 110. I mean, she was walking with a Zimmer frame. She had a walking Zimmer frame. But other than that, she was walking around very well, despite using the frame, well, the Zimmer frame with it was a 3-wheeled Zimmer frame, not a 4-wheeled Zimmer frame. She was walking incredibly well with it. And I mean, she still lives in her own flat, but there are wardens on hand in case anybody needs them. Well, it's a warden flat. They're flats where there are wardens on hand. Well, an elderly person's flat. It's not a care home where May Willis lives, but it's an elderly warden assisted living flats in case where the elderly people are living independently, but there are wardens on hand in case any of the elderly residents need one. I mean, she's been there for about 30 years now. I mean, but she's been fine, but she moved there shortly after her husband died, very, very sadly. Because getting to May Willis had a long, happy marriage, quite long actually, for a marriage. I mean, because she got married back in 1933. She was about 20. She was 23 when she got married. Married to a nice man, Fredrick Willis, but back in 1933, stating their marriage as a very, very happy marriage. Well, I could see she was happily married because she spoke so highly of it. At the time of her 110th birthday last year in 2020, she just spoke on. Oh my goodness, she spoke such highly words. She said such highly words and spoke so highly of her marriage to her late husband Fredrick. I should think Fredrick was a little bit older than May was, just to say, but yes, I think he was. They may have been the same age, or he may have been older, I don't know. But I'm guessing he was born in the late 1900s, but I could certainly be very, very wrong. But oneself shall certainly see, as oneself might say. Where was I? Oh, yes. There I was. Well, yes, getting to May Willis, she couldn't pass for being 111. Seeing her now, she has aged. Well, in my opinion, at least, she has aged quite a lot, compared to when she... Well, quite a bit, actually, compared to when she was 110. But, I mean, I could tell she was a very elderly lady when she was 110, but she didn't look her age. But when she was 110, I would have thought she was a fairly, not like sprightly, but a fairly active lady in her early hundreds. I would have thought she was about 102 instead of 110. I mean, I personally thought she looked about 98. At the youngest, I thought she looked about 98 instead of 110. I mean, she's all like, well, she's wrinkled. Around the face, she's very wrinkly, all wrinkled around the face. She doesn't look her age, but she's quite wrinkly. So that's how I could tell she was over 100, because of the wrinkles on her face and the features. And also because of the way she spoke too. I mean, she does have what you call a croak in her voice, and spoke fairly slowly. I mean, she was talking okay. Her speech was clear, but there was just a bit of a croak, and spoke fairly slowly, which is quite normal, really. It's very normal, certainly for people in their 80s and 70s. Well, if you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or 50s, or even 20s, or 30s or 40s, it's quite normal to speak quite slowly and be fairly, and have a bit of a croak in your voice, whether you're ill or not. It's quite normal for people of any age, not just elderly, any age. But there are some elderly people, or older people, or certainly very elderly people, who sound considerably younger than the age they are. Like, for example, my dear grandmother Anne. She sounds years younger than the age she is, even though she's very elderly now. Very elderly, yes. And my friends Dave and Sally, who are quite old but sound surprisingly young for people their age. I mean, they certainly do not talk like people at the ages they are, or sound like it. Yes, I mean, personally, I would say May Willis sounded younger than, say, Phyllis Ridgway, who's 3 years older when talking. But seeing May Willis now at 111, it looks like she's really slowed down physically, like I said before, because she was sitting in her chair like with a blanket over her legs, and it looked like she'd aged. I mean, at 110 and looking 98, in my opinion, I would say now 111 and looking, well, the month before her 111th birthday, I'd say she looked about 103, 104, something like that. I would have thought she was about, now I would have thought probably 107, 108, probably 109. No, I would have thought she was about 109 now, instead of 111. So, not bad, but she really does look very old, and it looks like she probably couldn't go on for a heck of a lot longer. But seeing her at 110, I would have thought she'd go on to about probably 115, 116. I mean, of course, despite passing for being over 100 in my opinion, I think she could have, it looks like she could have easily lived for another 5-6 years at 110. But in seeing her now, I personally think she could probably even go before Phyllis Ridgway. Because if you compare her to Phyllis Ridgway, Phyllis has not aged since her 113th. And still looking about, 93 instead of 114 like she did on her 113th. Although I had many friends of mine and family thinking she looked in her early 80s. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, goodness. Well, certainly in my opinion, yes. Sorry if I went a bit too quiet. Oh, dear, oh, dear. But, yes, just to let you know, it's Willis Day. Oh, and I forgot to say, May Willis also got vaccinated against COVID-19. It's unknown if she's had her second dosage yet, but I know for certain that she's had her first dosage because she openly spoke about it back in February of 2021. The month before her 111th birthday. So, and I just can't say how proud I am of May. I'm guessing she's got grandchildren and great-grandchildren, but she could she could very well be a great-great-grandmother like Phyllis Ridgway, but that is still unknown, and there hasn't been a heck of a lot of report on that yet. But if she is, congratulations to the wonderful, wonderful lady. But I know she has one daughter who's in her 80s. As I think when she turned 110, at the very time she turned 110, I think because she's only got one child, only one daughter, and nothing, and that's all she has as children. I think her daughter's I think she's about 85, 86 now. So quite elderly also. But, at the time when she turned 110, I think her daughter was about I think she must have been about 85, I think. Well, 84, 85, I don't entirely know for sure, but I know, but she's, I should think she's in her 80s, her only daughter. Just to say, well, her only child is in her 80s, and she's in her, now, early 110s. And I don't think I could live to either May Willis's age nor Phyllis Ridgway's age, and nor could I possibly live to Michael O'Connor's age, and he's actually he's years behind them in age. Because Phyllis is 114, May is 111, and Michael is 107, going on for 108. And oh, for my goodness gracious, I don't think I could even live to those ages. No way. Oh, good. Hopefully I'll live to about 82. Sometimes I feel about 85. Oh, goodness. Some of you from Dave and Sally who come over here might verbally slam me for this. Oh, no. Some of you might verbally slam me for feeling that age. Oh, dear. Well, very sadly, probably some of you are going to say, easy to say from a kid. Or, you're just a boy. You're too young, honey. I could easily be your son. Well, with age comes unusual strength. That's my saying. I know it's cheekily retorting, but certainly with age comes unusual strength. No, sorry. with age comes unusual strength. Oh, goodness gracious, I probably could get into a lot of trouble. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Well, yes, getting to the last bits of the video, because we've gone on quite a while, haven't we? Hopefully, yes, well, let's hope May Willis will go on for another year, or hopefully another few years. The same could certainly be said for Phyllis Ridgway, and definitely Michael O'Connor. And certainly once she's had her second dosage of her COVID vaccine, I should think there'll be a report on it. I should think, because it's been reported that Phyllis Ridgway and Michael O'Connor had their COVID vaccines and been vaccinated against COVID-19, and May Willis has very much so, as well as Dave and Sally, and my two surviving grandparents, obviously very, very vitally them, you know. Yes, and that's all about Phyllis. No, not Phyllis Ridgway. I already spoke about her. May Willis, sorry, May Willis. Yes, that's it. And there will be a few pictures of May Willis. Just before this video is over and has ended, there will be a few pictures of May Willis for you to see, and for you to share your opinions about what you thought of her, and what you thought of her even when she was 110, in the comments down below, for those of you who desire to do so, very much indeed. And yes, and certainly will there be, probably not a lot, but a few pictures of May Willis herself. I mean, in my opinion, I think she's reasonably nice looking, despite being wrinkled, but I could tell she's over 100. But not in her early 110s. But thanks ever so much indeed for watching, and I shall certainly see you in the very next video. Goodbye, everybody, another time. From your friend Foxy. If any of May Willis's relatives are watching, for those who actually have the internet, because I know a lot would be quite elderly and probably unable to access the internet, if any of her younger relatives are watching, like say her grandchildren or great-grandchildren have been watching this, please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, for those of you who do have YouTube accounts or YouTube channels of being relatives of May Willis herself. Thanks so much indeed, and goodbye everybody, from Foxy.